I want you to travel back in your memory to a very specific moment in your life. It is a scenario that every true empath has lived through, not just once, but countless times. You are sitting in a room, perhaps at a dinner party, a family gathering, or a meeting at work. Someone new walks into the room. It could be a friend's new romantic partner, a newly hired colleague, or a charismatic stranger. The moment they walk in, the entire room is captivated. Everyone else is instantly charmed by their smile, their smooth words, and their confident presence. The people around you are leaning in, laughing, and completely lowering their defenses. But you are having a completely different experience. The moment this person stepped into your physical proximity, before they even opened their mouth to speak, your stomach tied itself into a knot. Your chest suddenly felt tight. A cold, quiet alarm bell began ringing in the back of your mind. While everyone else is looking at this person and seeing a charming, wonderful human being, you are looking at them and seeing a highly constructed, deeply dangerous mask. You can literally feel the malice, the manipulation, or the deep, unhealed chaos radiating off them like heat from a pavement. You see the micro-expressions of contempt that flash across their face for a fraction of a second when nobody else is looking. You see the predator hiding behind the polite smile. Because you are a deeply compassionate person, and because you love your friends or your family, your immediate instinct is to protect them. So, you pull your friend aside later that evening. You gently try to warn them. You say, "I don't know how to explain it, but something is not right about that person. Please, just be careful." And what happens next is the great tragedy of your life. Your friend does not thank you. They look at you with defensiveness, perhaps even a little bit of disgust. They tell you that you are being paranoid. They accuse you of being jealous, negative, or overly judgmental. They tell you that you always try to find the bad in people and that you need to give this wonderful new person a chance. You walk away feeling utterly crazy, questioning your own sanity, wondering if perhaps you truly are just a bitter, suspicious person. And then the clock starts ticking. It might take 6 months, it might take a year, or it might take 5 years. But eventually, the mask inevitably slips. The charming new partner destroys your friend's life, drains their bank account, and shatters their heart. The charismatic coworker orchestrates a massive betrayal at the office. The disaster you saw coming from day one finally explodes in plain sight. Your friend comes back to you, crying, devastated, and says the words you have heard 1,000 times. "You were right. You were right about them from the very beginning. How did you know?" But there is no joy in being right. There is no victory in watching someone you care about walk blindly into a trap you tried to warn them about. There is only a profound, heavy exhaustion. If you know this exact, agonizing cycle, I am looking directly into your eyes today to tell you that you are not crazy, you are not negative, and you are not overly judgmental. You are carrying the weight of what ancient mythology called the Cassandra complex. You are an empath burdened with the danger of seeing exactly what others do not. And today we are going to fundamentally change how you carry this weight. We are going to explore the rigorous quantum mechanics of your intuitive radar, why trying to warn people is actually the most dangerous thing you can do, and how to transform this painful curse into your ultimate, impenetrable armor. If you are tired of being the scapegoat for people who refuse to open their eyes, and you are ready to step into the quiet, untouchable power of the sovereign empath, I invite you to subscribe to this channel right now. We do not deal in toxic positivity or naive illusions here. We master the deep, uncompromising laws of reality and human behavior. Join our sanctuary, and let us decode the profound danger of seeing the unseen. To truly master your life from this point forward, you must first understand the ancient archetype you are living out. In Greek mythology, there was a princess named Cassandra. She was given a profound and magnificent gift by the god Apollo, the absolute power of prophecy. She could see the future. She could see the impending destruction of Troy. She could see the wooden horse, and she could see the betrayals before they ever happened. But because she rejected Apollo, he placed a cruel, devastating curse upon her gift. He did not take away her ability to see the truth. Instead, he cursed her with the fate that, although she would always speak the absolute truth, nobody would ever believe her. She was condemned to see the disaster approaching, to scream warnings from the city walls, and to be dismissed as a madwoman by the very people she was trying to save, until the city burned to the ground exactly as she predicted. As an awakened empath, you are the modern embodiment of Cassandra. But your ability to see the impending destruction of relationships, business deals, and social dynamics is not a mystical prophecy. It is a highly sophisticated, biologically measurable mechanism of quantum perception. Society operates primarily on the surface level of reality. The vast majority of human beings navigate the world using only their basic physical senses and their logical brains. They listen to the words people say. If someone says, "I love you," or "you can trust me," the average person takes those words at face value. They look at the tailored suit, the expensive car, the polite manners, and the charming smile, and their brain registers these superficial cues as safety. They are fundamentally blind to the energetic currents moving beneath the surface. But your nervous system is built differently. You do not just hear words, you feel frequency. In the science of neurocardiology, it is an established fact that the human heart generates an electromagnetic torus field that is thousands of times more powerful than the electrical impulses of the brain. This field carries the exact emotional and psychological signature of the individual. When a manipulative or highly toxic person creates a fake persona, they are using their brain to formulate lies and their facial muscles to simulate a friendly smile. But they cannot manipulate the electromagnetic frequency of their heart. Their heart field is broadcasting the frequency of their true intentions: fear, greed, malice, or deeply suppressed rage. When this person steps into your proximity, a phenomenon called biological dissonance occurs. Your highly sensitive nervous system reads their electromagnetic field and immediately compares it to their outward behavior. When the words they are speaking do not match the energetic frequency they are radiating, your body experiences a severe physical short circuit. The dissonance between the fake smile and the toxic energy registers in your body as a threat. This is why you feel physically nauseous. This is why the hair on your arms stands up. This is why you feel an inexplicable urge to back away from them. You are not judging them. Your biological antenna is simply downloading the data that they are desperately trying to hide. You are seeing the shadow they are dragging behind them. You are seeing the trauma they refuse to heal. You are seeing the lie. But here is where the profound danger begins. Here is where the Cassandra curse activates and destroys your peace of mind. The great danger of seeing what others do not is the desperate, ego-driven trap of trying to force the blind to see. When you realize that your friend is dating a covert narcissist, or that your family member is trusting a financial predator, your empathy goes into overdrive. You feel an overwhelming, almost frantic responsibility to save them. You believe that if you just explain it clearly enough, if you just point out the red flags, they will suddenly wake up, see the truth, and thank you for saving their life. But you must understand the rigorous psychology of the human ego. The average person is absolutely terrified of the truth. The truth is uncomfortable. The truth requires action. The truth requires them to admit they were fooled, to break up a comfortable relationship, or to face a terrifying reality. Most people will fight to the death to protect their comfortable illusions. When you walk up to someone who is deeply under the spell of a toxic person and you try to warn them, you are not attacking the toxic person. In the eyes of your friend, you are attacking their fantasy. You are threatening their dream of a perfect relationship. You are threatening their hope. And the human psychological defense mechanism, known as cognitive dissonance, will immediately activate to neutralize the threat. Because it is too painful for your friend to accept that the person they love is a monster, their brain must find a different villain to blame for the discomfort they are feeling. And that villain becomes you. This is the ultimate danger of the empath's radar. If you try to rip the mask off the predator before the prey is ready to see the truth, the prey will join forces with the predator to destroy you. The predator will use your warning against you. They will whisper in your friend's ear, "You see, I told you Maggie was jealous of our happiness. She is trying to sabotage us because she is miserable in her own life." And your friend, desperate to keep the illusion alive, will believe them. You become the scapegoat. You are ostracized. You are labeled as toxic, dramatic, and divisive. You lose the relationship, you endure the smear campaign, and you suffer in agonizing isolation, not because you were wrong, but because you were right prematurely. You committed the ultimate social sin. You turned on the lights at a party where everyone else desperately wanted to dance in the dark. This cycle of warning, rejection, and eventual vindication has drained your vital life force for decades. It has made you bitter. It has made you question your own goodness. It has made you feel like you are carrying a curse that brings you nothing but pain. Today, that cycle ends forever. Today, we rewrite the rules of engagement. You are going to step out of the archetype of the tragic, suffering Cassandra, and you are going to step into the impenetrable armor of the sovereign observer. To stop the pain, you must accept a harsh, unyielding spiritual law. Your intuition was given to you as a personal navigation system, not as a public broadcast network. The universe did not grant you this hypersensitive radar so that you could run around the world acting as a savior for people who refuse to save themselves. The universe gave you this profound ability of perception for one primary reason: to protect you. It is your shield. It is your early warning system so that you can quietly, efficiently, and calmly remove yourself from the blast radius of the incoming disaster. You must adopt the sovereign protocol of non-interference. This is the hardest discipline an empath will ever have to master, but it is the only path to absolute peace. When you are in a room and you see the mask slip, when you feel that biological dissonance and you know with absolute quantum certainty that the charming new person is a predator, you must do the exact opposite of what your conditioned empathy tells you to do. You must close your mouth. You must swallow the warning. You must silence the alarm bells. You will look at the situation. You will see the trap being laid, and you will become entirely, perfectly still. You will not send the frantic text message to your friend. You will not pull them aside to share your concerns. You will simply nod, smile a polite, detached smile, and you will begin the quiet, meticulous process of stepping back. You must understand that everyone is on their own unique spiritual timeline. If your friend is deeply attracted to a narcissistic or toxic individual, it is because there is an unhealed wound within your friend that requires that specific, painful lesson to heal. The universe has perfectly orchestrated that toxic relationship to serve as a brutal classroom for your friend's spiritual evolution. When you try to warn them and pull them out of the fire, you are actually interfering with their karma. You are trying to steal the lesson that the universe has designed for them. You cannot bypass the curriculum of the soul. If they need to have their heart broken to finally learn how to set boundaries, you must respect them enough to let their heart break. Your silence is not a betrayal. It is an act of profound spiritual respect. It is the understanding that you are not God. You do not have the right to intervene in a storm that was not meant for you. When you adopt the posture of the silent observer, your entire energetic signature changes. You stop leaking your vital life force in desperate attempts to convince people of the truth. You preserve your energy. You watch the chess pieces moving on the board. You see exactly how the game is going to end 10 moves before anyone else does, but you refuse to play. And what happens when the inevitable explosion occurs? What happens years later when the toxic person drops the mask, steals the money, ruins the reputation, or shatters the family, and your friend comes crawling back to you in tears saying, "You were right all along"? As a sovereign empath, you do not gloat. You do not say, "I told you so." You do not remind them of the times they called you crazy. But you also do not become their emotional dumping ground. You simply hold a space of calm, detached compassion. You say, "I am so sorry you had to go through that. It is a very painful lesson to learn." And you leave it at that. You do not absorb the fallout of an explosion you did not cause. There is a profound, almost terrifying power in seeing what others do not, and possessing the supreme discipline to remain silent about it. The people who are meant to be in your life, the sovereign, awake, and highly conscious individuals who match your new frequency, will not need to be warned. They will have their own radar. They will see the masks just as clearly as you do. When you are with them, a simple glance across the room will be enough. You will look at each other, recognize the darkness in the stranger, and quietly agree to leave the room together. There will be no arguments, no defensiveness, and no need to explain. That is the level of connection you are making room for when you stop trying to save the blind. The Cassandra curse only holds power over you as long as you demand to be believed. The moment you relinquish the need for validation, the moment you no longer care if people think you are crazy, the curse is broken. It transforms from a burden into a supreme tactical advantage. You are no longer the frantic prophet screaming from the city walls, begging the citizens to look at the approaching army. You are the sovereign master sitting quietly on the mountain, watching the events unfold exactly as the universe intended, completely untouched by the flames. You must train yourself to find comfort in the hidden truth. Let the world be foolish. Let people be charmed by empty words and shiny masks. Let them dance with their demons if that is what they choose. Your only mandate is to guard the gates of your own reality with uncompromising ruthlessness. If you see the danger, you use that information to adjust your own boundaries. You quietly restrict their access to your energy, your finances, and your heart. You protect your own kingdom, and you leave the rest of the world to its own fate. I want you to take this profound, difficult truth and anchor it into your physical nervous system right now. I want you to make a conscious vow that you are officially resigning from the job of saving people from their own choices. Do not let this just be a concept that you understand intellectually. You must declare it energetically. Go down to the comments section directly beneath this video. I want you to claim your sovereignty by typing these exact words. I observe the truth. I protect my peace. When you type those words, you are performing a quantum severing. You are cutting the cords of the savior complex. You are signaling to your biology that you no longer need to panic when you see danger in other people's lives. You are commanding your heart rate to remain steady, your mind to remain clear, and your energy to remain entirely your own. The danger of seeing what others do not is only dangerous to the empath who cannot remain quiet. Become the silent observer. Watch the masks, read the frequencies, trust your biological radar without needing anyone else to agree with you, and step quietly out of the path of destruction. Hold your sovereign power, protect your magnificent light, and above all else, be well.